Hi, welcome back to another video in the full UniFi network setup series. I wanted a solution to this, and that is with these plug-in air fresheners which are on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Obviously I can manually turn them off at the plug socket with the switch, but I decided that I'd like a automation for this. But before we do that, we'll just have a quick catch up and tour. We're in the entrance hall here, and as you will see on the ceiling there, I've got my UniFi U6 Pro access point. I also have the smart chime, which is working well there, and also the doorbell, which is just outside the door there, and which is also working very well. So let's take a tour around into the kitchen there. There's nothing really happened in there apart from the LED light strip which I put at the top of the work surface there, which just lights up the work surface in an evening rather than having to switch on the ceiling light. Move round into the lounge. There in the corner there you can see my network cabinet. It's a 12U cabinet, and just open the door. There you'll see my UniFi equipment. At the left there we have a Synology DS220 Plus, which is used to back up data files to, and then at the right hand side there we have a Synology DS1621 Plus, which is used to store all data files which are shared over the network. Then we have the UDM Pro, which has a 1TB hard drive and which is currently just recording video from my G4 doorbell. Then underneath that we have a USW Pro 24 PoE switch, and then underneath that we have the patch panel, which is a Cat6 patch panel. All these cables are connected via Cat6 cables, and then underneath that we have a USW aggregation switch which provides some 10 gigabit connectivity to my PC, which I use for video editing and work and also day-to-day use. Aside of that there we have the Virgin Media Hub 3, which is providing 350 megabits of download internet and about 35 megabits upload internet speeds. I'm hoping to actually move that Virgin Media Hub 3 to the back of the TV there, as the wall point for Virgin Media is actually just under there, as you can see it there. Moving round, I have a Snom D862 voice over IP telephone, and that's powered by power over Ethernet. And here I have a power adapter, which is a surge protected one, and it also has two USB 5V 2.1 amp maximum 10.5 watt charging points at the top, which are used to charge smart devices such as my mobile phone and tablet. What I want to do is swap this surge protector over to that socket, and then in this socket I want to have a smart plug so that it turns off this air freshener at night. Moving round into the bedroom, there's a bedside lamp that I have here, and at the moment I'm just using this switch which is sat on top of the bedside cabinet, which is a bit of a nuisance really. So what I'm planning to do is to replace the bulb in that with a smart LED bulb, and then have a switch on the wall here to turn off the light, and then that cable can be routed down the back of the cabinet, which makes it look a bit tidier. So the solution I came up with, and which was actually given to me as a gift, I think back in 2021 now, or early 2022, was the Philips Hue starter kit, and it's the starter kit E27, and it's the white and colour ambience kit. It has two European type E27, I believe, screw-in bulbs with it. So let's open the box and take a look. Here you will see we've got the wall mount light switch, which I'm planning on putting near the bedside cabinet so that I can turn off the light on the switch on the wall rather than having the cable, as I just said. We also have the Philips Hue bridge, which, as you can see, has a 5 volt DC 1 amp power input, and also the RJ45 connector LAN connection, which I believe is, it might be Cat 5e, but and also in the box we have two Philips Hue white and colour, and they're the screw type connection, and they are E27 type bulbs. So there's two bulbs in that pack. Unfortunately I don't have lights that will take that size connection, so what I did was to invest in two Philips Hue, and it's 470 white and colour ambience, and they are E14 fitting, which is what that light at the side of the bed takes. And the E14, for your information, is the smaller screw type fitting. So there's two bulbs in that pack, so I'll use one and keep one as a spare. And also I was given at the same time as the Philips Hue starter pack was two smart plugs. So I'm planning on using these for the two air fresheners so that they automatically turn on and off as and when I require. So the first thing I'm going to do is plug in the light bulb into the lamp, and I'll be back shortly. So I put the bulb in and switched it on via the plug on the cable, and it has actually illuminated with the white light. So now what I'll do is plug in the Philips Hue bridge or hub, whichever you want to call it, into my network cabinet, and I'll be back shortly. So here we are at my mobile phone screen, which I've projected onto my PC here so you can see, and as you'll see from the top, I have Wi-Fi connected, Bluetooth enabled, and that one is just the sound notifications, which are also enabled. So the main things you need connecting are to connect to your Wi-Fi network at home, and also to have Bluetooth enabled. So first we need to go into the Google Play Store, which you can do locally on your machine however you access it, and in the search box we need to type in Philips Hue. Then you'll see it should bring up the Philips Hue, which is the official app, and we need to install that. As you can see, it's downloading it here, and now it's installing it. So just wait for the app to finish installing, which it has done. It's saying installed. I'll go back out to the home screen and slide the screen across, and here we have the Philips Hue. So click on that and then click on Get Started. Accept the terms and conditions, and also continue with the privacy notice. So a Hue account lets you do more with your Philips Hue system, adding an extra layer of security, ensuring your system is ready for new features and more. As I don't have a Philips Hue account, I think I'll skip this step for the time being, which is at the top right corner, and see how we get on. So why should I sign in to a Hue account? It allows you to control lights while you're away and also sign into multiple devices. I don't need to control anything while I'm away for the time being anyway, so we will skip the sign in. Do you want your app to be customized? We can help customize your app based on the way you use your products and services, such as showing you different default light scenes based on the ones you use most. Don't customize for the time being. No, I don't want Philips Hue to reach out to me, so click next. Don't reach out. Can our friends get in touch? Don't reach out. So start setup. Under Let's Get Started, if you want to modify your privacy settings in the future, you can always do so by navigating to Settings, Privacy and Messaging. So let's click on Start Setup. Now it's asking me what kind of system would you like to set up. I have lights and a Hue bridge, or I only have Bluetooth lights. Well, in this case I have lights and a Hue bridge, as you'll already know, so click on I have lights and a Hue bridge. Now it's saying connect to Hue bridge, plug in your Hue bridge to power and then use the included cable to plug it into your Wi-Fi router. I haven't actually plugged it into my Wi-Fi router, as you know, but I have actually plugged it in my network cabinet into one of the patch panel ports, which connects to the switch and therefore in the end connects to the Wi-Fi router, which is the UDM Pro. So your Hue bridge must be connected to the same Wi-Fi network as your mobile device for the Hue app to find it. So let's click on search and see if it finds the Hue bridge. Hue bridge found. Press the button in the center to connect. So I'll just go to the Hue bridge and press the button in the center. Now I've done that. It's saying connected to your Hue bridge. So let's click continue. And now we need to update the Hue bridge. This is mandatory update, and you can use your system again after the update. So during the update, your Hue bridge will be unavailable for up to 10 minutes. So let's click update now. And then with the message turn on automatic updates, I will select no, because I tend not to have automatic updates where possible on any devices on my network. I always like to update them on manual schedules as and when I choose. So I'll click no here. And now we have the message saying preparing. So now it's saying your Hue bridge is up to date, and to turn on automatic updates. As a tip, we've already said we don't want automatic updates, so we'll just reconfirm that again, saying no thanks. And then, do you want to share extended analytics? These analytics are optional, but they help us improve our products and services. Some necessary analytics are automatically collected so that your system runs securely. And I think I'll select don't share. Now it's asking me to add lights, so to make sure that your lights and Hue smart plugs you want to add are connected to power. I can confirm yes, they are connected to power and they are powered on, and the light I can see is actually still illuminated. So we will just click search for the time being, and hopefully it should find all three devices. Number of lights found is 1. It's now saying it's found 3 lights. So let's click start configuration and see what happens. New plug found. So it's now asking me to edit the name. So let's give it a name. I'm not sure which actually smart plug is actually it's referring to, as there's 2. It could be the one in the lounge or the one in the hall. So let's just take a wild guess. Let's give it a name of hall plug and then click done, and then the next light, it's actually found a new light, so let's call it bedside cabinet, and click done. Next light, and actually if I just look at the bedside light now, it's actually changed the colour as I move the colour wheel around. I'll click next light. Now new plug found is, hopefully this is the correct one, so let's name this one lounge and hope that it's the correct smart plug. Click done, and then at the bottom we'll click done, and then it's now giving me a summary page saying here's what we have. We have newly found lights, which is a hall plug, bedside cabinet, and also the lounge. We will click that's all. Now it's saying drag each light or multiple selected lights to a room. So add a room. Doesn't need to let us continue otherwise. Living room, I'm going to name that as lounge. Click done. Add new room, and then let's bedroom, and then add a new room which will be called entrance hall. Click done. So we now have 3 rooms. So now let's drag the hall plug down to the entrance hall, the bedside cabinet down to the bedroom, and the lounge across to the lounge, and then click done. Success, your lights are ready to use. Now go and make your home the brightest on the block. Bit of a corny phrase there. Click done. Hue accounts are designed to enhance your system security. Tap to learn more and sign in. Let's click X on that. Then if we click on the dots at the top, let's check what options we have. We can add lights, add a new room or zone, sort rooms and zone, or cancel. Let's click cancel. Here the button is to have the Philips Hue ecosystem turned on or off, so we can actually turn it off. What that actually does is turn off all of the plugs and all of the lights in your home in one go. So let's put them back on. Now for the bedroom, you can see all lights are on, and there's actually a brightness control here. So we can actually dim the brightness to say 70%, and the lounge is saying all lights are on. It's not actually a light in the lounge, and the entrance hall is not actually a light, it's actually a smart plug, and in those smart plugs are air fresheners connected. So I think we need to sort of reconfigure that to show that it's not light. So let's turn off the lounge for the time being and see if we have the right smart plug connected. And I can confirm that our guess was actually correct. The lounge smart plug has a red light on it, meaning that it's in standby, so we can turn that back on. So that means the entrance hall plug is actually correct as well. So let's go to click on home at the bottom, automations, sync, explore, and settings. So let's go through the settings for a start. Here we have my Hue system, and that's active via a local connection. If we click on the I, which is for information, it's saying the status is connected and it has a ID, software version and the IP address. Here you can click the remove button to remove that Philips Hue Hub from your network. We don't want to do that, so let's click X in the top left corner. Then go back to settings, and we can add a Hue account, which we don't want to do. We're just using it locally at the moment. Then on this Hue bridge we have lights. Here we have, for the lounge, we have the lounge and light settings. We can actually, let's go ahead and rename that, and it's actually Lounge Smart Plug, which is a better name for it than just lounge. So let's click done. So that's now renamed as Lounge Smart Plug. Power on, light behavior at power on is default, and the light info saying the light type, model, hardware, platform, software and which room it's in. Let's rename this to bedside light, bedside lamp. Click done and save, and then click on bedroom and light info. Again, it's just showing you the model number, the light type, which is a Philips Hue candle bulb, hardware, platform version, software and which room it's in. So let's click save. And then for the entrance hall, we'll call it Hall Smart Plug. So rename it to Hall Smart Plug. Click done and save. So let's go back to home. So before we go in and create scenes, there's one thing that I do need to add, and that is the actual remote control, which I put on the wall to the light. So I need to pair it up to the actual light. So what it's saying in the instructions online is to hold the on button up to 5 seconds to pair it with the light, then release it, and there was a green light flashing. So this should now be able to control. So we'll open Philips Hue app, and then we'll go into settings, and then we need to click on accessories to actually add the remote control, so that I can control the bedside light via the remote control, which I've stuck onto the wall near the side of the bed. So let's go into accessories and click add accessory, and then select dimmer switch, which is this one here, which is what the dimmer switch looks like. Now it's asking me, does your dimmer switch have a Hue logo on the front? And it actually doesn't on this one, so I presume it's an older model, so I'll click no. Now it's saying remove the plastic strip from the battery compartment. Ensure the LED on the front of the dimmer switch is blinking orange. And it actually isn't blinking orange at the moment, so I will click the reset button at the back of the actual dimmer switch, and it's actually a recessed setup button, so I'll click that with a small pinhead once, and hopefully it should. No, so let's hold it down for 3 seconds. Here we go, it's now blinking, searching for your dimmer switch. It's now blinking green. Your dimmer switch is connected. You can connect additional lights to the dimmer switch. Find them in the lights list. You can now choose where to use your switch. So continue setup. Now I want to use the switch against the bedroom. Your dimmer switch has been set up for the bedroom with the standard configuration, but you can also customize the switch settings. So I want it to press once to turn on the lights, or we can press it multiple times to cycle between scenes. So let's press it once, and if I press it multiple times, it's going between different scenes, which is different colours. There's a slight delay with the actual response of the light, but that doesn't matter too much. Okay, and then turn it off, then turn it back on. Yep, we can actually do that, and the brightness can be adjusted with the brightness buttons up and down. So let's turn that off for the time being and put that back on the wall. Hopefully that should make life a lot easier and it looks a lot neater. And then let's click done. So the Hue dimmer switch 1 is just now used and the off button was pressed. That's correct. Let's go back and then go into automations. So now let's set up an automation to actually turn off the smart plugs at certain times in the evening so that the air fresheners are not powered on during the night. So let's create an automation. And now it's asking me what kind of automation do you want to create. We want to set your lights to turn on automatically. No. Set your lights to turn on automatically when you leave your house. No. And timer. Signal at the end of a set amount of time with lights. No. I think we need to do a custom. So let's go to select start time. Here we go. At a specific time, let's say 7 AM, which is my normal wake up time. Click done, and then we will select end time at a specific time using a 24-hour clock. This is, by the way, because we're based in the UK, we tend to use 24-hour clocks. So at 10 o'clock at night, I think, so 7 AM in the morning, the smart plugs will actually power themselves on, and then at 10 o'clock at night the smart plugs will power themselves off. So click done, and then we want to repeat it every day of the week, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Click next. Now it's asking me to choose your lights, so we want the lounge and also the entrance hall. So if you recall, the lounge and the entrance hall both have smart plugs, electronic air fresheners plugged into them. So let's click on next. So what should your lights do in the lounge and the entrance hall? So we'll select bright for both of those, and I believe they should be on between the hours of 7 AM and 10 PM. Next, name your automation, so smart plugs on, off, schedule, and select the tick and click done. So every day the smart plugs will go on at 7 AM and should go off at 10 PM at night. As far as the bedroom light is concerned, I think I'll leave that on a manual schedule, as I'll be just turning the light on and off as and when required using the dimmer switch. So let's go to explore, and here it's just saying what's new and what Philips Hue can do, various marketing options. You can also purchase an outdoor wall light, for example, smart spotlight bulbs. They actually might be useful in future, as I do have sensor lights outside which turn on automatically at dusk and then turn off at dawn, so that I can actually turn them off and on as and when I require. Let's go to settings, entertainment areas. Here we can create an entertainment area, which we don't have at the moment. Voice assistants, widgets, support, privacy and messaging, location settings, Hue bridge settings, network settings, where it actually is set up to for DHCP, which means it obtains its IP address automatically from the UDM Pro. Zigbee channel, we can actually use Zigbee for communication between Hue bridges, lights and accessories. It's set to channel 11 at the moment. To change the Zigbee channel, turn on all lights and tap change channel below. This will take 30 seconds. We'll leave that as it is for the time being. I'll go into using Zigbee in a future episode, I think. So we can click on about. Here we have the version numbers, IDs, model number, device number, etc. So here we are to conclude this video. The next day after installing the Philips Hue system, as you can see, the switch has been placed onto the wall and this controls the bedside light there. As you'll see, it looks a lot tidier without the cable stretched across there. The switch and the cable has been pushed behind the actual bedside cabinet there, so it looks a lot tidier. The smart plug has been installed on the air freshener there, and I can confirm that actually works very well, and it did actually automatically switch on at 7 AM this morning, and it did turn itself off at 10 PM last night. So hopefully that will save some energy costs, albeit the smart plug is actually using a small amount of residual energy itself while it's in standby, of course. And here we have the other smart plug connected to the other air freshener. I can confirm that actually worked well last night, and it did actually turn itself off at 10 PM last night and turned itself back on at 7 AM this morning. So we'll carry on, end this video, and keep a lookout for further videos coming real soon. And I think the next video will be about locking down the UniFi network to improve on security. So thanks for watching, take care, bye for now.